Welcome to the Grand Design series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 5th of January 1998, which is sometime on for the end of the last video, which was about the fairly devastating earthquake which hit this area here. And you can see that the population has got back to normal. It still needs to improve its happiness a little bit, but we managed to recover from that. But since the end of that video, we had another fairly minor earthquake over here, which flattened a couple of monuments. In fact, it looks like there's one still to be rebuilt here. Let me just go in here. You guys can rebuild that. And what I've been doing since the end of the last video is, well, I've been focusing on two things. One, I've been trying to get my logistics center sorted out over here, and I'll go into quite a lot more depth of that in a little while. And the other thing is that I've been trying to sort out my vehicle production. So what I'm going to do now is give a bit of the usual update disaster report, because there's been a few oddities and disasters that's gone on, but I want to start with a positive note, in the sense that I think I've got some kind of system here which allows for the replacement of all the vehicles. And actually, well, I'll probably just show it this way. If I show you here, you can see now, since 1996, I've managed to get everything under control, except for I had to buy a track layer, and I had one template I did miss was the sewage truck. But the other thing you can also see here is that I'm still having to pay for the replacement of the helicopters. And the system that I've actually adopted is that I sat down, went all the way through this, identified all the vehicles that I needed, and bought all the templates. I think it cost me about nearly 180 million rubles. But what I now got now, and the one I missed was, I can't remember, what was it now? Now, it was the micro buses and the water bus. And what I've been doing now is I think I've got 4 factories operational. I've got this factory here, which is just producing vehicles for export. And at the moment, and I've switched from Beetles to K700 tractors, which seems a bit more appropriate to export to the West. I think that's probably, is it the chief export of Belarus, or it used to be. Seems I've managed to get a bus on here as well by accident. But I'm open to any suggestions. What is probably the most high value vehicle to export to the West? I know I could export. I mean, if I show you down here, see, exporting the tractors to the Soviet Union is 17 million rubles. But what I'm looking for is to export to the West to give me a reasonable income from the West itself. Actually, I'm just going to fix this train waiting too long. I've got an idea where it is. Yes, it's down there, so no problem. I can just let the game run. I'm going to come back to this area in a little while, because this is one of my disasters. But returning to my vehicle production, I've still got to work a little bit on the railway production. But what I've done for vehicles is that I've set up 3 factories, and then what I've done, looks like this one's already needs to be repaired, is that I've set up a route which basically, oh, this is a bit wrong, this needs to be fixed. That needs to come here. Unload vehicle. Yep, I forgot to do this one. It's going to change that to vehicle 2. Actually take that off and set it to that one. So the output of this factory is going to here. I've got this one operating as well, and this has got an open hole that's taking the vehicles all the way. I mean, it's a bit of a long circuitous route, but You can see it's going right over to basically where I started before. And then I've got the third factory here. And what this one is doing is shipping over to there. And what I've been doing is periodically I've been going through here, this list here, and say, for example, looking at the vehicles. You can see here is a legacy of when I was trying to do it another way. And I ended up with 17 ambulances in storage. So what I do is I go through now, like looking for fire trucks. And what I do is I look for any vehicle which is got a coming up to a shortage. So they've only got 1 or 2 left. And then what I'm doing is setting up static queues. So like here at the moment, I'm producing 4 water trucks and then it stops on output. And that's the same here at the moment. I'm building 10 buses. Garbage collectors and snowplows seem to be a very popular one. And I think this one at the moment is producing nothing because at the moment I've got nothing. So, and that seems to be a working system. Whether it's efficient, if any of you got any other suggestions, feel free to check it in there. So what I've found is by taking that approach is I'm getting enough vehicles to be able to replace vehicles that wear out due to old age without piling up too much in the warehouses. You can see this is the result. You know, say I've got fire trucks in here, and what I do occasionally is I move some vehicles manually just by clicking on that and saying go up to here, and I send some more trucks up here. Don't worry about these things. What I got was I got a little bit carried away and I ended up producing loads and loads of these cargo wagons. So at the moment I'm using this as a store because I ended up producing so many I didn't know what to do with them all. So that was one of my disasters with respect to production. And of course that the vehicle equivalent of that is down here. I think I've showed you this before, where I've got loads and loads of dumpers. This is results of my previous attempts to get things done. What I will say is I've kind of got my central distribution system set up. I'm not that happy with it. I'm still experimenting with it. I made a bit of a mistake here, and you see I've got 331 tons of electronics. And if I show you the economy imports, actually it was last month, I accidentally imported 104. That was due to the fact that I was setting up the electronics transfer from this area, and I've kind of reasonably got this sorted out. My problem at the moment is chemicals, because I am getting chemicals coming in here now, and things have settled down. But what I was doing was I was trying to get some extra electronics in here to trigger an export down to the central distribution system, and I got distracted, which is very easy at the moment, and I ended up importing 104 tons of electronics. Things are coming together, but one thing I am learning is that if you want this to run efficiently, you need to have one distribution office dealing with one job. And I think I've got an example over here, which I think is still lingering, is while I was untangling the supplies to here, we still got the problem here. Yeah, I think we're getting food into here. But what's happening is I mixed 2 distribution offices together, and then I gave this one a little bit too much work. This is the one that's, because I'm using a pool system, I'm bringing over the supplies. So what this was also doing was supplying stuff down to here, and it was rubbish, to be honest. So I'm now paying the consequence here. I think happiness isn't brilliant because this still hasn't settled down. I was getting meat shortages, but I think I've cracked that. I just need to get more and more food in. And of course, because this is such a big town, it's actually causing a problem. Now, I've got two fairly big headaches at the moment, which I'm trying to fix. One is up here, in the sense that just keep the game running, try and get out of the snow. Is this using these wagons for moving construction waste? So what I've been trying to do is rationalize and basically get all my construction waste moved using aggregate trains. Now, a source of the problem was over here with this waste thing here. Now, this is coming for hazardous waste. So what I've done now is I've pulled out all the hazardous and metal scrap from here and construction waste. I've created a temporary distribution office here, which is pulling all the construction waste and metallic waste down to here from this area. So I've kind of got a bit of a chain going, so that so now anything, it's just got to check the traffic jams because oh, this is what's going on. Oh, I think that was just a vehicle repair. Yeah, so I'm still untangling the mess up here, because what actually happened is that the waste office in here was picking up the construction waste from these areas and then sending it to here, which was overloading the system. You can see here I've got this sorted. Now I've just got one problem area left, which I definitely got to fix, because if I can fix this, I think I can crack the problem. And that is where are you? Here. Because what I've got at the moment is this is where the waste that's coming from going up to there. So what I want to do here is put in a what we call it. Let me just see. Loading. I'm gonna put one of these in. Well, flip you that way. I'm gonna try and tuck you in close to the road. And then we're going to put a small aggregate store in. If I flip you the other way, I want you to kind of go that way. Actually, if I can get you, I want you, actually, if we push you out that far, and then I want an unloading thingy here. If I can get behind that, what we call it there. Thank you, game. I am increasingly noticing lag now, because we are over you know, let me just see if I get these guys working on this. We get the 5 crew working on this. I'm gonna make this all high priority, because this is very, very important. I need to get this done ASAP to fix my problems. Just let the game run. I don't know why I keep pausing. Now what I'm going to have to do is come here. We'll just remove that mixed signal there. And what I'm hoping is if I can run off to like that. I think if I can get this under control, I don't need duplicate lines or anything like that. High priority. Go up to here. I don't think these guys are particularly busy. I think part of the problem I'm having at the moment is that because of all the distractions and things that are going on around me, trying to sort out problems and firefight problems and do things like that, I'm not really being able to concentrate on building up the new town. Right, you get in there and build it. While we've got this office here, I need to get up here. Apologies for the fact that we're in the snow. The snow doesn't help with lag either. What I'm trying to do now is, I think all this is built. I think I'd like to get somebody working on that. Actually, we'll get 2 of you working on those as well. Now, while we're here, I just want to discuss it. I've had a problem with exporting bauxite, which I'll talk about a little bit more in the past. So, moment bauxite's suspended. What I'm trying to do is get this distribution office operational so that we can possibly control the bauxite export from here. But it's going to be a bit risky, but everything up around here is a bit risky anyway. And another thing happened is that this got built for some reason and 650 people moved into it, and I had to move them elsewhere. But what I'm trying to do at the moment is still build up this central town. I still need to put the waterworks in. There's so much I need to do up here. But at the moment, all I'm doing is trying to get the road network built, and also the town and the basic infrastructure built. I've built the heating plant. I need to sort out the power supply as well. What the problem's going to be is actually providing the necessary support. Let me just see. Yeah, get the... I need that helicopter thing built. Not there. Actually, oh, the fire station's been built there. It's this area that I need to focus on. Better build that substation because we're going to need it. Has that got a power connection yet? Yeah, we're going to need that power connection built to there. That one there. Okay. I'm going to need this road system built in because something tells me that life up here is going to be a little bit precarious. Right, back to the story of the bauxite, and that actually ties in with the fix that I've just been talking about. What I was doing was using this distribution office to export the bauxite. What happened is that this bauxite area has got so efficient that virtually all the trains in here were exporting bauxite, and then what that did is it degraded the other services that were meant to be provided here, including the actual waste pickup. So that is it. In fact, I just realized something. Oh, we've got a distribution here. We've got a gravel exchange. That's good. I think that was another one of my attempts to fix the waste, but I'm definitive now that moving construction waste, metallic waste, go aggregate. Don't worry about dumps. Don't worry about transfer stations. It's just not worth it. On the way through, we're just going to check and see whether the game is... Yeah, the game is slowly gaining... Now it's out of meat. This town has been fairly problematic with trying to get a consistent supply system set up, despite the fact it's got 6 trains. So you're bringing in food. Is anyone bringing... You're bringing in food. You're bringing in electronics. You're bringing in food. You're bringing in meat. I think it will settle down eventually. And as I say, I think the part of the problem is that when you disturb something, especially with this amount of population, it takes a long time to settle down. Now, another problem I have had is along here. Upon reflection, what I should have done is put in some form of connection out. In fact, I could possibly build one here, but then that still only takes it down into there. into this kind of dangerous line. The problem is that I've got this main line here, but the trains don't want to use it. I wish there was some way that you could set this, say, as a priority express line. You can see here, all the trains coming through here don't use this line. They want to use this line because it's straighter. I mean, I could demolish it, but it would be a very, very time and kind of straighten this kink out a bit. Actually, curiosity. If I... So can I run this through this guy? No, it won't. Why won't it? Okay, there's a signal there. I'll remove that signal. I think if I do that, remove these signals because they're a waste of time anyway, because no one uses the track. The problem's going to be is how to actually build this without destabilizing the... See, that won't connect through there. And what I'd have to do is build that line through first. The problem's going to be is to build this track, I would have to destabilize the whole area, and then that could cause problems because I'd have to get back to somewhere. See, I can't actually. What I would have to do is come in from this point, wouldn't I? I'd have to let the train come out here, go past there, go back down this line to there. I'm going to think about that one because it's because I'm not 100% convinced it will actually solve the problem, so I'm not going to mess around with the supply system. Next problem, if I come over here, and this is kind of one of the common features of this game, it can really kind of throw you out, is that when this wasn't supplying that much around the thing, my livestock factory here was filling up with lots and lots of livestock. Now that I don't have much livestock actually in here, I'm not producing bio waste, and this is a bit of a quirk, that you get lots and lots of bio waste from this if you are if it's full up. You can see here, but as soon as this is empty all the time, the amount of bio waste you're actually getting is quite low. And this is a little bit, so that is, I mean, I can understand the logic of the game, but it's given me a little bit of a headache because I'm trying to improve the overall performance. Now, the consequence of that is the fact that if I come over to here, you'll see that I'm not producing that much fertilizer. And what is happening now, and I think I've touched on this in a previous part when I was talking about, when I was saying that this actually needs extra storage. And that, but as you can see, because I've built these in so tight, I can't see if I could get some extra. We'll see if I can put a waste dump in here as a kind of example. See, I could put, how much does this hold? This will hold 80 tons. This will hold 135. I don't think I would like to do it. Anyway, the result of that is that my fertility fell. If I know I'm going to put the overlay on and you won't be able to see it, but you can see here at the moment the fertility on these fields, I'll do it this way, is 114%. You can see that the nutrient level is low, and we're coming out of January. After a winter cycle, these should be pretty close to 150%. Now the consequence of that is you can see that we're already only on the 17th of January. These are already empty because of course in the last harvest cycle, I think this area side isn't too bad. See, this is what it should be looking like, 150%. And I think that's probably because this farm has got an ample supply of fertilizer. And that meant that I lost 25% of the crop. And this has got having consequences on our overall supply. Now, I have got a contingency. This area here isn't looking too bad. This one's 150%. This is what they should be looking like. So closer to in, things are okay. But what I've done is I've kind of suspended this and got this fertilizer going. I'm now filling this up because I've restricted fertilizer exports. Now, what I want to do is this is actually pulled some of the fertilizer back from here. Right, what I'm going to do now is we're going to clear all this lot. Yep. And we're going to tell you to pick up fertilizer from here. I mean, this is a bodge fix until I can think of something else that I can actually do. You're going to pick up fertilizer. It's going to be a long way. But it's the only thing I can really think of at the moment. You're going to go there. You're going to deliver fertilizer. And you're going to set this to 40%. So what we're going to do is force the fertilizer over here to compensate for the fact that we've lost the biological waste from this area here. And I'm hoping by doing that, that will get some fertilizer into there. It may result in a bit of a backup, but there's not much I can do about that. So that is the latest one. The other thing I've also done actually while we're here is that while I was actually sorting out, I've got some contingency trains here. And by contingency, these are my spare locomotives, which I've got. But these are my contingency trains. By contingency trains these are the trains that I'm using should I actually do it. And I've got another one over here. And what I'm doing is using these should I spot a shortage which needs to be pushed, say, to a central supply. Actually, what I do want, I don't think I've got any isothermic. Do I have any? Okay, we are. This means that this is going to fill up soon. So, okay, you go to there. These are trams, and what I'm doing is manufacturing these trams because I need to improve. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let me just get here. The sheer level of micro on here. What I'm going to do for the moment is we're going to get you, cancel you, pick up this here, come here. Actually, I don't need a train. All I've got to do is tell these to go there. Yep. The trams can make their own way. Trolley buses, metro trains need to be shifted manually. But the trams themselves, these trams can go up here. But I'm going to, and what I want to do is push these trams up to this depot. Get that there. What I'm doing is bringing these higher capacity trams up. Are you on the move? Because what I'm trying to do here is improve the capacity, because these trams I've got a higher capacity. See, like this tram carries 69 workers. The trams that I'm sending up can carry 150. So what I'm trying to do is get more capacity out to this area to see if I can improve the, well, one, the chemical production. Chemical production's been a little bit of a pain in the neck at the moment, but I think I've got it under control, but I still don't have enough chemicals to cover the whole map. So when and if I get some time, we're going to need to work on a chemical production, and I think originally it was meant to be over here somewhere, but this has been very neglected at the moment because I've just spent so much time kind of sorting out problems, balancing problems, and all the other things that goes on. See if these trains have actually, see, these trains are still unloading. It's just so painful. And what's happening is, and this is the problem, I've got trains backed up all the way through here. And of course what happens is that these are blocking other things that need to be done. See, these are now blocking access to here, which is the loading side, because these trains are all queued up through here. I don't know if I can push. So what I've been literally doing at the moment, just as a kind of fix, is squashing the trains up and changing the signals to fit, so I can get the trains in here. Okay, I need space for one more, and the next one's here waiting, and there's another one behind it. This is and it's all down to this place, and you can see this is nearly full up. This is why I really do need this. Okay. Where is the related train? Okay, so we can get that track built. If we can get that built, and I've just crashed. That's another thing that's been happening. So, okay, welcome back. We are back to the 16th of January. Yeah, this is it's the crashes that are another reason why I'm playing a lot more off camera, especially with some of the more complicated bits and pieces, because you've got to remember that because I'm recording this, the machine has two pressures. It has the pressure of the game and also the pressure of the recording software. In fact, I think what I will do is I'll bring, while I'm here, I'm going to bring this locomotive up to here. Actually, we'll put you into here because I don't think I've got any spare locos up here. At the moment, I'm doing the train allocations manually, just to try and keep things reasonably safe. Anyway, back to I remember what was I doing. I can't really watch the video. There's just so much going on. Let me just come back. While we're here, we might as well see how well we still don't have food in here. We've got a tiny amount of meat. So what we're gonna have to do is just let the game run. Ideally I'd like to get out of the snow so that I can do a bit of planning. In fact, we could possibly do a bit of planning with respect to what's going on. Yeah, if I come here, we've got to try and build that track there. I think if I, right, no one uses this track, so let me see if I set you to that way. Actually, set you to that way. Remove that signal there. See if we can get this done. We're going to change you to a mixed signal. You to a two-way signal. Send you down. Right, make this into a two-way signal. We're going to need to break that line there and there. Right. In theory, what actually no. Let's go back up and check here. Let me just do this. Check this again. Yeah, you need to be a mixed signal. You've always been a mixed signal here anyway, because I probably haven't could fix the signals themselves. Okay. That needs to be a two-way as well. Okay. If I now come up to here, not here, there. I'm getting to very familiar with my dots on the map here. I'm going to go back over to here. We're going to build that back to there. And then once we've built that, I can then work out a way to make this connection here into there, and then we can build that bit as well. And hopefully if I straighten this track, it might get trains going. So this train waiting too long. Yes, I know. Oh, this is what I was doing as well, wasn't it? I was trying to clear this track. Actually, that's actually managed to get through. Maybe messing with the signals. If these little stupid little trains could get out the way, things would be a little bit better. Right, I think I'm kind of let me just check down here, and I'm not here. Here, how far away are we here? We're getting pretty close. That needs to be built. Okay. Time to see if we can get any work done up here. With respect to our kind of area here. Now, one thing I've got to do is the drainage. Now, my instinct is that we go for a really big sewage treatment plant, but actually, let me just check something. It's here, isn't it? Not here, not too far as usual, because we got this massive pile of sewage plant here. I don't know if I might getting any pollution from here. Do I have a pollution meter here somewhere? I'm pretty sure I built one. I just can't remember where it is. Let me just see. Buildings. See, this doesn't show the pollution. I think what I'm going to do is, rather than rush into this, I'm going to put a pollution meter down here, because I want to know how close I can get. So we're going to put a pollution meter just there. I want to see whether this is actually producing any pollution. I think you guys can just, I don't need the heavy mob on it. Where are you? You've got more than enough capability to build this yourself. So I'm just going to build that. I think to make this work, we're going to need quite a major pollution sewage processing, but so that large sewage processing plant here, actually, this big sewage treatment plant needs workers, and what I'm thinking is to put it. This is the town that's going to provide the support. If we could put it, say, over the railway line here, we could build out the settlement this way a bit so that we can get a few things done, and then we can put the sewage supply there. Maybe we can work on the water supply. Again, I want the water supply in this area. So what is the largest water? This produces 300 cubic meters. Is there anything that's going to be bigger? Water treatment. What's the biggest? That's 275. This is an osmosis. This is 390. I mean, it uses chemicals, but we got lots and lots of chemicals. And more importantly, it's got lots and lots of connectors as well. So we got a water treatment plant. I can put the water treatment plant. I want it close enough so that we can get. Actually, if we push it right out, but then again, well, I'm not going to worry about the pollution. So if I put the water treatment plant out here. Then we are going to go chemicals. We've got a source of chemicals over there, and we can bring chemicals in anyway by using this. Just set that. Now, if this is going to be producing 390 cubic meters of water, we're going to need to supply This is 240. So if we built two of these so if we built I think I'm still gonna stick. Now of course what we got here, this is 127. This produces 240. So we're going to need multiple water wells. Now, what I want to do is push them as far away from the industry as possible, but at the same time, still going to be close enough so that we can get it. I think if we can get 95%, so we're going to need to put two of these in. Let's separate them a little bit. Not that it makes that much difference. We're going to let me just get the road crew on that. I think what I will do is we need a kind of we can put a cross residence building there. So we got two water wells there. I'm just going to accept that. And then what we need to do is put the pump infrastructure in. I think that's about all I can do, but we've got a fire station. Where's the hospital? In here. Oh, the central hospital is there. You need to put this. Has this got a connection? Yeah, there's a connection there. Is this allocated? No. Right, we're going to need to build the hospital. I've got to be a bit careful with these buildings because not all of them have been deselected. We're going to need a school. I think because the residential is going to be concentrated out this way. I think and again, we're going to need to go on a fairly epic scale. So I think we can drop the first kindergarten in about there. want to check something. I'm kind of thinking we've got that there. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of go a little bit over the top here with respect to illuminated roads. So I'm going to build that. The advantage with these illuminated roads is that they actually have footpaths on them. So by building these, we don't need to have the parallel footpath. So we got that there, and see if we can get a school in. I'm not worrying too much about. We've got this school here. It'd be really nice if I could. I think what we'll do is we've got accommodation there. If we got the footpath there, see that's only 220. I think if we put, obviously we're picking up heating from that, so we got heating overlap. That's good. And again, I think we're going to put a road out like that. I'll just bring you out like that. We can connect up the roads later on. We'll get these allocated. Just make sure that these guys, yep, start building in the housing here. Just let that run. I wouldn't mind some more housing here. I think what I'm feeling here is mods, residential, Ampere. I wonder if we could put in a couple of these. I must admit, I do really like these. Since I used them in that other town, we could put them really out close like that. And put in there. This would give us another. Actually, if we get. This is the mirror, isn't it? Actually, which way round is that? If we push the road out there, and we can push that forward, we've got to leave enough space for garbage collection as well. And then if we put the mirror like that, with a little gap in between, like that, or extend this road out further. And then that means that we can then put a normal road to there, a road there. And what we'll do is run you to there. That leaves a little bit of space there for things. So we can then connect this up, get this built. Just want to make sure that I can get an asphalt footpath through the center there. Yep. And then we can connect this up. So that gives us a lot more accommodation in this area. While we're here, I want to check these guys. Okay, they're down to 2 jobs. What I'm trying to do at the moment with these is, how well are you doing? Okay, you've nearly finished this. Let me just come above ground again. Oops, thank you again. Train waiting too long. Yes, I can probably guess where you are waiting too long. That's being built. It's okay. You're not out of materials or anything like that, no. I'd like to give you another job. We're going to need this fuel distribution. We can put you there. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll You should follow that path. Eventually what I'm going to need to do is actually electrify in from here, but not really that interested at the moment of that. I think this is, I'm not sure if this is all electrified. Let me just check. Oh no, we need that built first. And I think what we'll do, I'm trying to get as much of this rail line stuff built so that we don't have to worry about it, and then I can use the trains for something else. Right, so we got that there. And what I would ideally would like to do in this part is get this issue resolved here. Right, it looks like we've got these roads have been finished. You need to come there. Actually, no, we'll bring the heli crew up here. Okay, that's been picked up by you. High priority. Come on, you can finish it, guys. I think we're get these guys here. What's going on up here? Okay. Okay. What's going on here? What's your problems? 62% 5 citizens unable to get food. See what's going on here. Winter was really a tough time. Okay. So what's going on here? You've got food. Let me just double check, make sure we got food in here. Wish there was a way you could change this order so you could push this up to the top. So we got 1800 food in there. Okay, let me just see, just check the power station on the way through. Yeah, I think we're good with the power station. Just want to make sure if we actually manage to get the food situation sorted here. No, we're still... I think the problem is at the moment is that these cannot deliver enough food. Let me just see. This is 80%. You guys actually... See, it takes time. So you're actually bringing in 69 tons of food from here. Is this actually being built? Not at the moment. Okay, this guy's lost. Goes without saying that when what are you? Okay, where's the branch from here? That should stop that. And that should stop that. The train will try and go into there and then stop. Actually, we'll change you to there. Haha. Okay. I'm going to put the mixed signal there. Double signal there. Right, I think I've got rid of him from... No, not. He's there. What are you up to? Why can't you... I think what's happened is he's got stuck on the wrong side of the tracks. This is the down track. my own fault for doing this, but obviously this is going to be a little bit more complicated than I thought it was going to be. It's probably not helping with my food situation as well. Okay, this is now built. So we can put the mix signal on there. Structural waste. Right, you guys, first things first, on everyone who's delivering to here, which is the Bival dump, you have now got to deliver to their construction waste. Where are you? You're now gone. You are going to pick up from here a load construction waste once this is 30% done. Where's the... You guys are... Well, actually, we need to change... Put you there. I think there's another dump just here. You've got to deliver there as well. Your construction waste. And what you are going to do is pick up from construction waste from there and drop it off there. Don't care if you've got a building supply or not. What we need to do now is empty this out so that this guy, this platform here becomes redundant, because it's these little trains running backwards and forwards that's causing the problem. Oh, let's see what the situation is up here. See, we've still got trains queuing up here. Got this one here. See, they're actually wasting time. Anyway, if I can get that fixed, we'll be okay. As I say, we can get this going, get this built in, and we can get that done. Just want to check one other thing. Actually, down in the bottom right hand corner, are we getting not biological? So so how's the fertility here now? See, the fertility is only 86%, because you'll probably find that these guys are still coming out here. Actually, have I lost any tractors or anything like that? That could be an issue as well. Nope. I do need to replace the combine harvesters to see if we can get a bit more efficiency that way. See what the situation is over here. Okay, this is full. Okay. Okay, you're loading from there to bring to there. Yeah. That you're loading from there. Why have you got a double load? I think we'll reduce you down to 40%. Is that actually working? Let me just check. That's coming from there. It's coming from there. Actually, I think what I might do is these guys aren't doing... Oh, I think what might have happened here is the change I made was done when I did the crash, wasn't it? So it's not actually... It's annoying. Right, let me just see. Let's just remove that connection. You can pick up there. I will sort this out eventually, but I need to get... So we've lost the fertility here. Unload fertilizer 40%. Okay, welcome back. That is my second crash. I think the problem is I've been playing too long. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go back and remove this train here. Because it's messed up the route here. And I think probably also part of the problem is that I've been playing too much on high speed. Normally, also when I'm playing off camera, I play at a slower speed. So what I'm going to have to do is reset up all this. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Apologies, we haven't made that as much progress as I hoped for. What I'll probably do is play on for about 6 months and then do a video when we can actually see what we're doing. And I'll give you a bit more of an update about what's going on in this area. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.